Hi everyone, Nicole Atherton here, and before I get started with the next Project Life process video, which is going to be for January or week 1 of 2018, I just wanted to go through and show how I've set myself up, hopefully for success for this year. So here's one of my albums. I have 3 of the same albums. I tend to do Project Life in a white neutral. This is a Becky Higgins album, and let me put these aside for a second. I'll explain that in a minute. So the format is going to be, let me find a blank one, Design A pages, and which is the same that I used last year. And I stick with this because it's predictable. I know what I'm working with. I have a good workflow. I'm not bored with it. And also, it gives me creative freedom to focus on different things. So I know how many photos I need to fill each week. If I don't, then I have the space to put some more decorative cards or something. And then also, if I have more photos, then I know how to, do the inserts and stuff, and you might have seen some of those videos last year. So, what I've done is laid out all of the page protectors that I'm going to need for this next coming year across 3 albums. So I do 4 months in each album, and I take sticky notes and I put them all, the dates that each week covers and the week number. Sometimes I use the week numbers in my title cards, sometimes I don't, but they're always on my titles to my script to the videos, so I use them anyway. And then what I do is I take things that I either know I'm going to use, like cards or whatever, or memorabilia. So let me start at the beginning, and I had tucked this in here. These are papers that I had set aside. This is a vellum. This was in a Studio Calico, cat hair, Studio Calico kit from last January. It says, "This is your year." I used some of it on a scrapbook layout, but I didn't put it in Project Life. So I thought I might be using it for my title page. This is another scrapbook paper from Studio Calico, and it says things like new adventures right here, yes to tomorrow, say yes to fresh starts, things like that, the beginning of the year type of stuff. So I might use that in my title card, or my title page. My title page is undone because I signed up for the new Allie Edwards Stories by the Month, but I missed the first group. So I'll be getting my January stuff next month, I believe. I have some ideas of what I want to do, but I'm waiting for that stuff to arrive, and then I'll get going on that. Okay, so the first, here's some stuff. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, pulling things forward. So this is from last year's December Daily with Kelly Perky. This was the Kelly Perky add-on kit. I thought that this stuff could be easily used in a winter type spread, so I saved it and I put it over here. This was a Studio Calico thing. It had like wintry type things bundled up, clear and crisp and stuff like that. So I put them in the week that I knew we were going to Lake Tahoe. And so here's some more of those Kelly Perky cards. And then these are cards that I pulled from the Studio Calico documentary kit from last month. Obviously with a winter theme, but I didn't end up using them. And then these are from the same one. So, wintry, kind of not necessarily Christmas, so I can use them in January when hopefully we'd have snow, which we didn't, but let's not talk about that. Not too cold and snowy out here lately. All right, so that's when I run across something that's seasonal or, I'm not using it now, I'll put it in a pile to add to my next year's Project Life when I get that going. Usually I order all the albums and stuff like around mid-November so that I have time to set them up. Okay, so next page, so this was the week we didn't start our eating right like everybody else did on January 1st. We started on week 3. So this card came forward from the documenter kit from December, and it says, I've got 99 problems and they all involve carbs, because we're doing like a gluten-free thing, which sucks, but it works. Anyway, so I pulled that here, and then this little polar bear might be cute. Here's a little note to myself. Here's the week, but this is a note to myself that I popped my tire on January 23rd to include a story about that. And so as you can see, having the pages already set up has a place for me to add stuff in case I don't want to forget, right? So this is a little sticky note, a movie ticket here or there. We saw a lot of movies this week, so they all got pockets. This is the little login to the test that I took with the residents at the end of January. So I don't know if I'm going to use all these, but at least it will prompt me to write something about that story or document that in some way. And then, oh, I also use these. These are Becky Higgins Project Life dividers, and they at the top have all the months. They also have other titles that come with the dividers, like school years and stuff that I don't use, but yeah, anyway, I use these because I just like the way it looks. So here's like a title card. I didn't end up using this last year, so that was in my pile that I had set aside. So when I set all of these up, then I stuck them in here. And if I don't use it this week, I'll push it forward to the next week or the next week. And whenever I use it, I use it. So anyway, you get the idea. Just some random other things. It's tucked in here, April, stuff like that. So I know I'm getting to this a little late, and I'm sorry if you've already done this. I hope you already skipped this part, but anyway, this is my plan. And some people, you know, I find that this, yeah, this layout a lot of people have moved away from because they wanted, you know, something different or whatever. I still find comfort in this configuration of Page Protector, because like I said, I know what I'm dealing with. It gives me creative freedom because I don't have to worry about a different configuration to do something else. So I only have so much creative space in my brain, and so I'm saving it for some other stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to get going on week 1 process video. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, so here I am pulling out all the photos I'm going to be using, and the ticket stubs that I had put in there. You didn't see those in the last explanation or setup video because I had to redo it. But anyway, okay, so going through, and this was one of those cards that I had pulled forward from last year. I think I'm going to use it in this week. And then just going through the cards in the Summit Studio Calico Documenter kit, which I will link in the description of the video below. Moving things around, trying to see how I want to do things. And then these are stickers that I also came in the kit, just checking them out. My first order of business is just sort of fussy cut, not really. I just cut it out with some border, so it's kind of like a wavy cut this January. And then I'm going to add it onto the card that I have pulled out there. And the easiest way to cut like this is to keep the scissors, you know, in one position, and you move the paper with your other hand. And you can see that band-aid over there. Yeah, that was my scissor injury from earlier off camera. I usually win against the scissors, but sometimes they win. Okay, just making some room here. And I'm going to pull these die cut pieces from One Little Bird, I think it is. Again, from that Studio Calico Documenter kit. The theme is kind of, for that kit, is like exploring and adventure and things like that. We didn't really have any adventures this week, but I'm still able to make it work. And I'm just going to play around with the configuration of these elements until I find something that I like. Fortunately, the background color in the January card had a matching element in that plus sign on that card, so it worked. And I'm going to next elevate it on some foam adhesive to give it some dimension. But before I do that, I'm going to just tack those down so I don't forget where they were. Okay, next I'm going to bust out the roller date, and I almost forgot to change the year, but I remembered finally. And I was considering using a different color ink besides black because the tag's already black, but then I just decided to stick with the black. But I also, I don't know if you can tell from the video, I stamped off, meaning I didn't re-ink the stamp. I just did the main stamp and then I sort of repeated that around, and I do that occasionally. I like that look. This story wood veneer element is from the December Daily Kit from Allie Edwards, and then these chipboards are also in her shop. She has silver and gold, and I'm not sure if she has the other colors, but I can find them. I will definitely link them. So you can see here that I'm making this kind of decorative card. But what I'm going to end up doing at the end is taking it off because I haven't done my title page yet, and I think I want to have a see-through 3x4 pocket, so I need to have space for that. So that was the most logical one to leave out. Otherwise, I don't have a problem with the card. Just making a little white scrap paper home for some journaling. You know, the beginning of January. Lazing around on the 1st, cleaning up Christmas, all that stuff. Okay. Get that tacked down with my adhesive, and there is that story all told. And then this is my white Posca pen that I just wrote out Supermoon on there. That was the first of 2 full moons in the month of January, a neat scientific event. And then here, just talking about what we did on January 1st. I already put the date on there. We basically lazed around, ate bad food, and binge watched Game of Thrones, which is awesome. And not that I haven't seen it before. I've seen it probably, I don't know, a lot of times. But the guest that we had over, she hadn't caught up, so it was time to catch up because that's unacceptable. And then I'm going to be using the yellow stickers that came in the Documenter kit, and I'm just going to put hashtag GOT, hashtag Game of Thrones. And these are such narrow letters that if there's anything in the center, I couldn't pop it out with my fingernail, so I just used the, oops, sorry, I got to turn my phone off, with the end of my pencil with the lead retracted. Lining it up on my little acetate packaging so it's in the right area and centered the way I like it. And then I'm going to add some of these silver kind of punctuation things. Starting with this picture of Maggie wedged between Tracy's back and the couch, which is hilarious. She did that herself. And then that little sticker says love. And I'm just going to put that aside and move on. Okay, the right side of the page. And this was how I originally had it planned out. This was, you know, how the order of the photos in my photo roll. But then I decided, I'm trying to make sure that I pull red over here. That's what I'm thinking about right now because I know there's red on the other side. So I am documenting right now the 2 dates that my sister came over that week to help me organize my craft room because it had gotten so out of hand. As you can see in that top photo, I mean, I had letters everywhere. I had paper. I mean, it was crazy. I couldn't find anything. I'm still in the process of getting better organized, but that's when it really started. So I decided to move that photo over to the right, even though the photo of the plate covered in foil happened after that, because that means that all on the right-hand side of that page is talking about organizing and, you know, all that. Keeping the silver elements, pulling some silver things over. It's cool because I didn't even realize that the plate was covered in foil. And it's not the best photo, but whenever I work, I usually try to make it home for dinner, but I'm on call for 24 hours, so sometimes I can't. So Tracy makes dinner anyway, and if I can't come home, she makes me a plate, covers it with foil, and leaves a note. And this time she wrote directly on the foil, and so I just wanted to remember that sweet thing that she did. And then I chose the die cut tag that says lift ticket, because, you know, seeing that, you know, I don't ski, so that I thought was an appropriate or an alternative use for that, because seeing that when I got home at whatever it was, like midnight or something, lifted me, and so that was my lift ticket. So I'm doing these letter things again. Not my favorite letter font because they're so teeny. But anyway, I'm spelling out Oscar Hunt because every January, February, we go through and we try to watch the Oscars that are nominated in the major categories. So the Oscar nominations haven't been released in this first week, but we could kind of guess the main ones based on what like the Golden Globes nominations were and stuff. So we saw Shape of Water, and just documenting that and our brief reviews of the movie. I liked it. Thought it was interesting, pretty. It was a beautiful movie. It had a good message, and Tracy thought it was weird, but it was okay. So, no spoiler alerts. I'm not going to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it yet. Now, you know, these are those heat created tickets. I should probably have copied them onto a cardstock, because I think over time that ink will fade now that I'm looking at it, but oh well. Okay. And then I'm just going to pull another silver element. Going to put the hashtag in front of Oscar Hunt, and it was a little teeny tiny thing and messed up the. Anyway, it was giving me grief, so I finally got that center part out. And then this is the other word, the wood veneer word from the December Daily Kit from 2017. So I'm putting that over there. Currently wading through my mounds of letter stickers. And then I want to decorate this card, but I don't know what I want to do with it. So I'll go back to it. And then that says, the sticker on that organized section says new beginnings in my studio. Okay, and then I finally decided what I was going to do. I just took 3 of those plus signs and I put them on the bottom. And one more silver element pointing at Cooper photobombing the picture of our wine, which I thought was so cute. Okay, so here is the first week of January, and I pulled that card out to make room for a see-through element on my title page whenever I get a chance to do that. So if you're new or new-ish, welcome and thank you for being here. If you're oldish, I'm so grateful for you being here again, and I'm grateful for all of you. Actually, it means so much to me that you guys come here and, you know,
thumbs up or comment or whatever. And it's just amazing to me because, you know, we all have such busy lives and we're all running around like crazy trying to get everything done. And time is so precious. So I'm humbled that you spend your precious time here in whatever way you do it. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. And until next time, happy crafting. Take care.